Number 5 is emotional safety. Emotional safety. You will discover that each of these 5, and very soon the 6th point, are truly fundamental to sustaining a love relationship. The disagreement, the disaffections, the issues are resolved at the place of communication. In the place of shared vision, burdens are born for one another. In a place of spiritual connection, the ties that bind you, the deeper reverence, the submission, keep you. Then, of course, the intentional romance that makes your spouse know that he or she is needed. He or she is important enough, to be given that attention, makes it fantastic. Then, coming to emotional safety, the way to summarize the concept of emotional safety is an atmosphere of trust. Emotional safety is built, is designed on the basis of trust. When your spouse comes to that settled position that I trust my spouse, I trust him or her not to violate our covenant one to another. I trust him or her to defend me. I trust him or her to invest in me. I trust him or her to believe in me. I trust him or her to never hurt me, to never do anything that will belittle me, that will reduce me, that will afflict me. Yes, he or she can make mistakes. Yes, of course, because we are not perfect. Can make mistakes, but we must be able to, see the difference between an intentional attempt to hurt and a mistake that produces a hurt. It's a lot of difference. So when people make mistakes, it doesn't negate from them still creating, an atmosphere of trust that builds emotional safety. Emotional safety is one thing that is missing. There can be emotional safety when there's emotional abuse. When you are belittling of your spouse, when you are comparing your spouse, you are creating an atmosphere that is toxic, bereft of emotional security. And once there's no emotional security or emotional safety, what happens is something begins to die in your spouse. It may not show. The person may stay out of obligation, still minister to you, be a part of your life and all of it. But trust me, something is dying. Something is withdrawing. Something is reducing. And it will compound and compound until it comes to the coping ability of the person, and the person begins to show it. The person begins to show it, and God help you that your spouse is feeling emotionally unsafe, and then somebody out there, whether male or female, depending on who, now goes to provide an emotional safety for your spouse. Before you know it, your spouse is going to start investing time hearing that person, enjoying the company of that person, receiving assurance from that person. And that creates vulnerability. You can't tell where it will lead to. That is why the number one person that you must invest your emotional trust, emotional safety on is your spouse. I don't care how close you are with that gentleman or with that lady. You can't do that. If your spouse is not in a position, to carry what we're talking about here, help that spouse, because your marriage is forever. Help that spouse. Don't bring in somebody to be the basis for your emotional safety. Not only is it wrong, in most times it leads to infidelity. It leads people to dimensions they never think about. Don't invest your emotional safety on any person outside of your spouse. It's wrong. Not even your pastor. That's why wise pastors, when you start doing that, they deflect it. They draw the boundary. They find a way to either bring in their spouse or do something, or bring in another mature person, or bring the spouse you are talking about into the picture. You don't want a spouse investing emotional safety on another person outside of his or her spouse. It's an error. It's an error. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24, I love the way the Bible puts it in a Good News translation. It says, let us be concerned for one another, to help one another, to show love and to do good. Can I read that again? He said, let us be concerned to one another, to help one another, to show love and to do good. When you create an atmosphere of trust that develops into emotional safety, your love life is likely to not only last forever, but be exciting forever.